Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight we are going to do something different. We're going to sand and paint a urethane bumper for a 2008 Ford Taurus. So we just need to sand it down with some 320 and some Scotch-Brite pads, and then we can get it in the spray booth and get it painted. Earlier today I sandblasted the wheel skirts that I made that short video on last night. So these are ready for body work. I sandblasted them and then I 80 grit D8'd them down. Tomorrow I'll make a video of body working them, epoxy primering, and 2K primering them. So let me get the bumper on the stand here and I'll be right back. Okay, got the bumper cover set up here on the stand. So we can sand this down with some 320 grit and a red Scotch-Brite pad, which we'll use in all the areas where we can't get the DA sander. We're going to use this foam interface pad to put on the DA sander and then the sandpaper on it. This is nice for doing curves and stuff because it follows the contour without, digging in. Okay, I'm all set up and ready to go here. This bumper cover came earlier today. It was folded into 3 halves. They've been doing that a lot lately just to make the box size a little smaller. So they had it folded here and here. So what I did was I left it like this for a few hours earlier today, and it relaxed back down and it's back to normal. So if you get a bumper like that in the mail, in a box, don't get worried. It does straighten out. So let's go ahead and start sanding with some 320 grit. All right, I'm gonna keep sanding down the bumper just like I am, and then I'll come back with the red Scotch-Brite pad and I'll show you guys Scotch Brighting all the small areas and stuff like that. This is going to get painted white. It's just the Ford Oxford white. I'm just going to use a single stage urethane paint. It's an old vehicle. It's got rust and stuff on it. I usually don't paint parts for friends and family and stuff like that, but it's my neighbor next door. Their daughter just got their license a couple months ago, and it was icy out the other morning, and she slid off the road and hit a guardrail and screwed up the front bumper. So I'm just, we got this replacement bumper. We're just gonna throw a quick single stage paint job on it and bolt it on the car for her. Not trying to spend too much money on it or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. I'm gonna sand down the rest of it with the DA like I showed you guys, and then I'll come back and do the Scotch Brite. Okay, I sanded out all the areas I could with the DA sander. Now we're gonna hit it with the Scotch Brite pad. And I'm gonna go over the whole entire bumper with it. Just basically take your time, try to get into all the corners so that your paint adheres. You don't have to push real hard. It's important to get in all these little areas, because if you don't, the paint will start peeling and work its way out. And then after we're done with this, we'll get it sprayed or blown off and put in the spray booth, and we'll get it warmed up. And then we're going to use a epoxy primer as a sealer. And we're going to put one coat of epoxy primer as a sealer down, which is gray. We're going to use gray, and then we'll go over it with the white paint. I'm guessing probably 3 coats of white, depending on how it covers. We just bought a Omni single stage MTK Oxford white, which is the paint code for this, the color for this car. I haven't shot MTK in a long time. I don't know how well the white will cover. I got a pint of it, but after you harden it and put a little reducer in it, it'll make, I think it's 4 to 1 to 1 if I remember. I'll have to look it up. If you see here, I'm getting this bottom edge real good, where it wraps around into the wheel well. And it's also the other edge on the inside. It's good to get that as well, so that you can get some paint on this backside lip. It's good to get paint on that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this again. I'm gonna Scotch Brite this all down, and I'll be back. Okay, it's all scuffed down. I got in between all the ribs and everything with this pad, and I blew it off, all the dust off of it. So now I'm gonna go get it set up in the spray booth, and we'll get it washed down, and then we'll start mixing up some epoxy sealer. Okay, we're gonna wipe it down with our solvent cleaner. Make sure you wet the panel real good. bumper in here is this is the bottom side. I put that facing towards the fan, or I put that where the wind's going. So if we get any dirt coming this way, it's going to be on the bottom side rather than the top side. So I'm going to go get the epoxy primer ready. Okay, I'm going to blow it off real quick and then hit it with the tack cloth. Okay, that needs to dry for about 15 minutes. Like I said, that was mixed 2 parts epoxy primer, 1 part hardener, and 1/2 part acetone. Now the Omni, let's see if this is the right stuff here. All right, just making sure they gave you the right stuff. This is mixed 4 to 1, 4 parts paint, 1 part reducer, 1 part hardener. So do it in that order. So if you're going to do 4 ounces, you want to do 4 ounces of paint, 1 ounce of reducer, 1 ounce of hardener. We're going to start with probably 8 ounces of paint. You can always mix up more. Keep in mind, once you mix this, it's garbage if you don't use it all. So we'll start with 8 ounces. And if we have to mix another 4 ounces, we can. We have 16 ounces of paint here, so this was just mixed earlier today. So we're going to go to, actually, I don't know if I want to use the 4 to 1 to 1 chart or if I just want to go by ounces. If I go to 8 ounces, I'll need 2 ounces of reducer, 2 ounces of hardener. Yeah, let's just do that. So we'll take this up to 8. Put the reducer in next. It probably doesn't really matter, but I just like to follow the directions on the sheet. Now this MTK can be baked at 140 degrees for 30 minutes. So we will probably do that, but after I get done painting it, I'll probably let it dry with just the fan going for 15 minutes before I do that. I want to put this bumper cover on for them tomorrow, so I want to make sure it's dry. I believe it's 8 hours handling after you bake it, after you force dry it. Now, I'm pretty confident we're probably going to have to mix up more. But now I'm going to take this paint stick and I'm going to mix this with it. When you're done mixing it, don't put it back in your paint, because then this stick has hardened paint. That'll go in there and ruin that. So make sure you don't do that. So I'm going to let this sit in the cup for a few minutes. It's still got about 10 minutes before I can put the first coat on. Okay, that was coat number 1. It covered really well. I think one more coat will be all we need. There's still a little bit left in the gun, so I don't think I'm going to mix up another full 8 ounces. Let's see what we have left here. Oh yeah, we got it. I'm going to do 4 ounces. Remember, don't stick your paint stick back in here. I just stirred this a few minutes ago, it'll be fine. So I'm going to do 4 ounces this time. I am using a fast hardener. So it's going to dry a little quicker so that I can put that on tomorrow. Okay, we'll mix this up, then we'll pour it into there and we'll mix them both together. Be a couple minutes between coats, maybe about 10 minutes. We're only going to do 2 coats. Then we'll let it sit for 15, and then we'll bake it at 140 degrees for a half an hour. And it is, I think it's around 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, something like that. My clock battery died. So 8 hours after you bake it, before polishing it and putting it into service. So if it's 8 o'clock now, let's say we're done by 9 o'clock, we got 10, 11, 12, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, it's ready to be handled. I'm not going to wet sand and buff it. I'm just going to put it right on the car as is. So pour this into there, and we'll just mix the 2 together. If you noticed, I like doing inside of the vent area of the bumper cover first, and then the outside, because then when I spray the outside, a little bit of mist can go in there and cover it a little bit better. I just don't want to be doing the outside and then doing inside of there, and then having a mist go on the outside and make it dull. So if it's going to be dull, I'd rather have it a little dull inside there than on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and let this sit for a couple minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, I can touch it just a little bit sticky, so that means it's ready for the next coat. that's it. That's 2 coats. It's white and kind of hard to pick up on the camera. But that's going to end this video. Just figured I'd do a quick video of me painting a bumper cover. I'm going to let that sit for about another 5-10 minutes, and then I'll turn the heat on and we'll let it dry or bake for about a half an hour, and then it could dry overnight. So if you guys like what you saw, you like these videos, if you could, like and subscribe. Thanks guys, have a good night.